CPL has become a fabric of hockey here in the Western Cape. It is a part and parcel of Western Province hockey. Its introduction in 2020 at a time when COVID was stopping kids from playing sport was a breath of fresh air, and it's a breath that has just gained in momentum in the subsequent editions. Now at the 4th edition we have 6 franchises, different age groups, over 1,000 kids, as over the space of 2 weeks shared Western Province Cricket Club and its surrounding facilities they get together and they take on the CPL challenge. It's exhibition hockey, it's flair hockey, it's exciting hockey, but most of all it's great hockey fun that brings the community together and offers us a window into the future of South African hockey.
First of all, if you make a fire, there's a proper hot center where you don't want to put your hand in. Right, teams that play against us, when the ball gets to the middle of the field, they've got to feel that heat. If they're in the middle of the field, just climbing to them. All right, they must think that this is the worst place to be. Right, I want tackle, 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 tackle. The guy must think cheapers. One guy tackles me, the next guy out. Doesn't matter who those 4 are. All 4 you get stuck in. They must feel the heat over here. They must feel like they need to go around the outside where it's cool. And if they play on the outside, we win in this game. All right, so build that fire on the inside. Don't be a soft coal in the middle and the ball just goes floating through there. All right, the second thing about the heat is if you hold onto the ball in one space and you just hold it, the ball gets cold. All right, I want you to think about heating that ball up by making it move around the pitch. And as it slides across the pitch, it's getting a bit of friction. All right, keep that ball hot, like squash. Keep the ball hot. Don't let it cool down. If you let the ball cool down, it means you're not passing, you're not moving the ball enough. It means they can defend against that kind of thing. All right, so keep the ball moving. If one of you gets it and stands there and just plays by yourself, we're going to shout, you're getting cold, dude, let the ball go. We've got to learn to play together. You can't expect it to just work. All right, if it does, massive bonus. If it doesn't, just suck it up. You're going to hear me a lot in this tournament telling you to dry your eyes if you're going to whine about something. I don't like whiners.
Giving the ball away between the 2 teams here, like we said it before, would love to see them just hold on to it just a little bit longer.
So the first time I met Sean, I know his dad. We actually came from the same kind of brotherhood back in our early days, and so we've always bumped each other at various tournaments. And I've watched Sean grow up over the years. And then at the beginning of the year, Sax, the team that I took, we went to the Grey High Festival, the Hibbert Shield, and York were also invited. And it's the first time we got to look at the York players close up after COVID. We have some York players at Sax, in fact, that come from there. So Zay Pillay is one of those examples. And we got to see Sean play, and he really was a fantastic player at that tournament. I then was in the George area in June, July, and I hooked up with them and said, let's play a bit of golf together so I can just see what this kid's like. He beat me at golf, so then I had to select him, unfortunately. Fantastic player, versatile. He can drag flick, he plays in the midfield. Probably going to end up playing more at the back in this tournament because we need solid defenders. But that's the kind of versatility that he comes with. At the same time, he gets forward when he has to and has a shot at goal or gets his drag flick off. So he's got multiple weapons in his armoury. It's going to be fun to see him now in a new environment, not playing with the Cape Town boys before, coming from New York. He's played against a lot of Cape Town boys, but to see how he operates in that environment. But he's my secret weapon because nobody really knows about him. Some people have seen him play, some have played against him on a small scale. But a really fantastic guy and very good under pressure, as I can attest from his golf.
My family and I had a little meeting, you call it a meeting. You know, why not play CPL? I didn't get to play IPT and I saw my mates making the SA squad and having so much fun there. So, you know, prelims just ended, so I thought it was a good opportunity. And I actually want to be coached by someone else and meet some coaches and meet new friends here, meet some players and experience the CPL vibe here in Cape Town. Because I do look to come here next year, so it'll be a nice chance just to meet people and see what goes on here.
I didn't make a province team in under 14 or under 15, and then under 16 obviously COVID happened, so that was a setback. And then no hockey in grade 11. Well, I was injured in grade 11. I had growth issues in my knees, which set me back 3 months. And then towards when I played in the end of grade 11, I made Province B team, which was also a bit disappointing. Only played 4 games for first team last year for Bishops. We lost all 3, or we lost 3, drew 1, which wasn't great. And then luckily this year I was able to play Province A. For Bishops we did really well. We toured York, we went to Hibbert Festival, we came second against Sachs. We lost in the final for that, but we did really well. And then we ended up coming 4th for Bishops, which was proper. And then, as I said, 18A for Province, made that team. And then we went to Stellenbosch IPT, which we did really well. But unfortunately I suffered a groin injury for there, so I was set back. I couldn't quite drag flick, but luckily we were still able to make it to the final, which we beat KZN Coastals 4-1. And then I was picked for the under 18 SA team, where we played Namibia. We won all 3 series, scored some goals, had a lot of fun. I remember not making that under 14 team, and I was absolutely gutted. And I just I started questioning like, can I even do this? Like, is this the sport for me? And then I just, through lockdown and I just put in a lot of hours on the Astro, just flicking and like working on myself as a player. And I think just that time in lockdown really helped me a lot, because I got to grow and develop and maybe get my skills up to where they weren't before. And I was able to just develop through the lockdown period. Yeah, Kassa's played a very important role in my hockey career. He's been there since day one at Bishops, and he just develops like every player into basically a mini Mustafa or a mini Kasim from Bishops, which is really cool. And yeah, he just guides you. I think he's played a really big role in just like helping me become like a thinker of the game, and the way that I think about hockey is from Coach Kasim. Yeah.
James Flint. What can I say? At Bishops I used to call him the boogeyman. Yeah, people used to tend to ask me, why do I call him the boogeyman? Because every time he runs out on the park, our opponents feared him. Whether we played whether we played girls, SA side, they feared him. And then for me, just in terms of James itself, he's a hard worker. It's level-headed, yeah, which I can work with. He's coachable, and the best thing about everything is what people don't realize is a good human being.
I think James, very special character, very quiet boy, but gets the job done. I think I was really sad that we weren't able to play with him in my final year. I was really looking forward to it. And yeah, drag flick specialist, what a man. I think he's one to watch for the future, definitely for South African hockey, and I look forward to playing with him now at the under 21 level. And yeah, just absolute character, hardworking, and has come through the ranks really well. It wasn't always easy for him, and I really admire that he never gave up. I think he went through his dips in his youth career, but now I think his time has come, and yeah, really looking forward to playing with him again soon.
So I started off CPL 1.0 with the Raiders, which Coach Kasim coached me for, which was really cool. And then yeah, we didn't do so well in that. I think we came 4th or so, but I missed CPL 2 and 3 through injuries. So then I was eligible to go back into the drafting system, and I got drafted for the Raptors, which is really cool. I'm looking forward to CPL 4. Yeah.
CPL is amazing. I mean, initially I felt that I needed a break, so it was like weird for me to like get involved, and I didn't want to burn out. But then seeing it from like the outsider's perspective was one thing, and then being called to like coach and like assist gave me a newfound respect for everybody that's involved. The thing that I really enjoy that sets it apart is that the franchise directors and the franchise owners are actually all very passionate about hockey. They know what's going on, so they're not okay, we'll take the best players and hope for the best. I think everybody wants hockey to grow in the province, and that is what we can see every weekend. So we have this global perspective of the Western Cape, where we get to see players from Boland come down as well. The thing that it does for me is that it breaks down barriers. So for players, they're allowed to be coached by different individuals, so it opens up their mind to different ways of playing. Sometimes it's also a philosophy change. Like we speak about barriers. if I'm a player and I might be sheltered with the environment I'm at, I might now play with a player that faces completely different challenges. And I think that that's the beauty of CPL. Sometimes there's red tape which doesn't allow that, but a tournament and almost I would say a movement like CPL allows you to play with different people, and also opens up your mind and your heart as a coach and as a player. And for me, I feel that I've got a facilitation role where I need to embrace kids from different backgrounds and also help them understand within the team environment where everybody comes from. I get to coach provincial level players, and then I get to coach players that maybe don't even get the chance to get to the trials. So for me, it's exciting to marry the two and merge the two. And yeah, I think I'm very appreciative as a coach that you have an organizers that actually help get players to the turf, to venues, to matches, because that doesn't always happen. Sometimes it becomes someone else's problem. But with this, we've kind of narrowed it down and they are available, they are present. And so it's about using the opportunity that you do have. So CPL has done a lot, not only for the players, but I think for the coaches as well. We get to share, we get to talk about our experiences, and it's a nice environment where it's competitive, but at the end of the day, we know that hockey is growing as a whole in the Western Cape and Western Province. So I'm very grateful to everybody that is involved. There's a story, one of the boys I coached this year at CPL told me after the tournament that he actually wanted to stop hockey, and that when I coached him, he was like, he found like a passion again. And so it was exciting to hear that this platform allowed for that to happen. And I'm sure he's one of many players that probably thought after COVID, like, what's going to happen? And it was just exciting to have that. And we didn't win the tournament, but I felt that there were like little wins within the team.
Yeah, so Lita joined Sax in junior school. An opportunity came up in terms of a bursary, and his family took it. And from there, him and Joe played together their whole life. So I've been lifting him backwards and forwards, and he's been part of our family as well as the general Sax family. Lita's a fantastic player. His natural ability and the way to control a ball, everywhere that comes to watch sees that straight away. Like we all know, he's still young and a long way to go and develop, but the key raw ingredients are all there. And it's been interesting watching him learn the kind of structured play that we play at Sax compared to the freestyling Langer play that he does when he goes and plays on the weekends for Langer. And that mixture has been a real good thing for him, because you can see when he changes gears and goes into freelancing, and then he goes back into the kind of constructed defensive work. To the moment, he's on the right trajectory. Everything we put in his place and where he is, he's not the finished product, but where he is in terms of his drag flicking, in terms of the way he plays on the field, his positional play, the way he looks at defensive work as well now, he's just growing in the right direction. And so we're looking at the 2028 Olympics. That's going to be our dream for him. Hopefully he gets into that trajectory. It should be just about right in terms of where he is in his career. And so that's what we're aiming for.
I was with Leon, and then they asked me to come play. I was like, oh sure, it's hockey, so I should just come play. Then that's the finish our CPL started. That's when first game we lost to Rebels. Then I came in, we played well, and then finished second. And then under 16, under 16, that's when the second one, when I won top goal scorer and played the tournament. So it was just really a nice achievement. So yeah.
So I see Lita cry similar to my brother, a mini Mustafa Kasim. To be honest, I think he's such a world-class player, Lita cry. He just stands out. The first time I coached him, I didn't have to tell him so much because I backed him so much as a player, and of course the talks made him even more special, and videos that you watch of this guy, it's unbelievable. And as you said, coming from a township, sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes people fall out of the bus because they go the wrong turn. But I think his path and his journey is really cool. And I think he should share his journey with everyone. But of course, he's still young and he has lots of hockey ahead of him. And a funny fact for me that stood out is Ash Freddy speaks about Lita Cry all the time and says how he could play in the senior A men's side with us at IPT. And at such a young age, you don't always get the credit, but I think this guy is world class, and I think sky's the limit for him.
I started at De Wip Primary School. I started from grade 1 to grade 4, I played B team. And then I only got moved up to the A team because someone in the A team left in grade 4. So I was always reserved for the A team. Then I finally moved up, and then in grade 6 they usually choose like some of the grade 6s to play for first team. Unfortunately, I wasn't selected. I played under 12A. And then when I came to PV, I played under 14A and I captained that side. And yeah, Mrs. Ketz and Jared gave me the wonderful opportunity to help out the first team for PV in grade 8 for the Springfield tournament, which was quite a shock since I was kind of nowhere in Dorp. So then I played for them, and in grade 9 I made the first team, and that was my journey in the first team. And I've been first team ever since. And yeah, it's been amazing. And I made the club, Somerset West club first team in grade 11. I made that first team as well. So that's basically the journey from grade 1. So grade 7, I made the zonal B side. Grade 8, I made the Boerland A team. We went to Bloemfontein. Then grade 9, I made the under 16 C regional side. And then obviously there was COVID, which provided like a big gap. In grade 11, I made the IPT under 18A side, where we played that Western Province series, and then this year I made the IPT under 18A side again, which led me to be selected for the SA national side.
You sort of said a little bit earlier that Jenna wasn't the norm in the sense that she didn't play Boerland A all the way through her age group. So I think as a player she's really proven that the whole thing about keep going and perseverance is actually true. She came into an IPT in that Boerland side, and it was quite hard to obviously pick our 18 for the SA under 18s against Namibia this year, but she really stepped up. She's really quick. She's quite small as a hockey player, but she's tough. So she would always get through great tackles. Her ability to bring a team together is also great. She has a really warming type personality, and I think from a team ethos point of view that really was quite rewarding for all of us that were involved with the team. And she just has this almost like a fox terrier type mentality. She never gives up. And I think that's noticeable when you're looking at an IPT and you're looking at, you have to watch A section and B section. So you're watching 7 days of hockey, 10, 11 hours a day. To be able to notice a player like her means that she's actually stuck her hand up and said, pick me. And I think that's a lesson that can be learned from younger players coming through the network.
CPL is an environment away from the school pressure. So you're playing with a bunch of people from different schools. It allows you an opportunity to make new relationships with the people from Cape Town and from everywhere. You get to get coached by a different coach, and there's not that additional pressure like for a Boerland side or for nationals or provincials or anything like that. It's a fun environment where you can just enjoy yourself, play your game, and then be able to experience new things and meet new people, and the vibe there is just incredible.
Working a lot in disadvantaged communities, and me coming from, I think, a disadvantaged community. I work with a certain player, name is Mbali Anthony, at Herschel Girls School, and she was one of those young, exciting players. She was actually one of the first players that can start in a team as an under 16 player. So Mbali from Langa, the opportunity that she had, that CPL gives her, number one. So the reason why I'm mentioning that, because I remember Mbali going into that last CPL that we had, she was a little bit low on confidence, but it kind of brought out the confidence, and it set her path for the rest of the year. Mbali would start regularly for us at Herschel Girls School. Her characters, it's second to none. She's a person, quite an introvert, very bubbly, but also Mbali is also somebody that would never back down. She'll always give 100% effort, whether you're 2-0 down, okay, or 2-0 up with a few minutes to go, she'll keep pushing, and that says a lot about her character. I know she's one of those players that are very appreciative of the opportunities that, campaigns like CPL has given her, schools like Herschel Girls School, etc. She's really grown massively as a human. In fact, she's one of the strong leaders in my side. and she knows how to carry herself. And again, I just want to honor CPL and everyone that is involved in Bali's life, but also giving so many people an opportunity.
I've played in all 4 CPLs, and I was playing for Rebels. Rebels ended up coming first in the 3rd CPL. I really enjoy playing CPL because you get to meet a lot of nice, kind, talented young girls and boys from all over Boland and Western Cape, and I've made really good friends that when, for example, when we go to IPT and we see the Boland team, it's people I can connect, chill, and just kind of talk with. And I feel like without that, without CPL, I wouldn't have gotten to know those people. Well, with CPL this year, I think my goal walking away from it would be to make stronger connections with my teammates and other girls from other teams, and also to bond with my team, and hopefully the goal is always to win it.
It's more about sort of making sure it's a great experience for the kids. Sure, we're looking to play to win, but that's not the be all and end all. That's definitely not the focus. It's about the experience. It's about teaching life lessons both on and off the field, I think, making sure that they go away from CPL better kids or having learnt quality stuff. CPL has been a revelation since it started back in COVID times, giving the kids opportunity to play top hockey, not as cutthroat maybe as the school environment is when you're playing for your school, but equally competitive. Some top quality coaching around. It's just an amazing environment for them to come and express themselves and to learn. So yeah, it's awesome to see it thriving.
Yeah, so starting all the way from obviously coming out of a COVID time where there was zero hockey, with a tournament like CPL to give opportunity for us to come off a really tough year and play some top quality hockey because the best players in the province are now enrolled in a tournament. So I started back in 2020, in under 14. That was my first CPL, and then it's CPL 2.0 going into under 14 again because I was playing younger up. And then the big jump for me is I jumped straight to under 18 with my head coach Kasa Kasim, which gave me the opportunity to play up, and then playing up in a tournament as well with the best players in the province of under 18 also can help you improve your hockey as well as it did for me. It was just a massive privilege to play up like that in the tournament.
So I mean, every game counts. That's the main thing. And every game is a new curveball because every team's different. It's made up of different boys from different schools. And so you've got to approach every game with the idea of how you're going to strategize to get through it. Also, you don't know the teams because we haven't played a lot together. You've got a sense of what they like and you kind of know the coaches and their strategies normally. But the idea of every game one at a time, trying to build it up, and you play every game like a semi-final, hoping to get to that last Sunday night match to be your final. So you can't slip up at any stage, or if you do, you need to pray that everybody else does, which rarely happens. I think the last couple of CPLs we've had really close finishes in the under 18 boy age group, where it's almost come down to the last minutes of the league to see who wins and who loses. And last year especially, we had a swing around where a team was winning the whole thing, ended up third within a minute of hockey, which is just fantastic that we got that close competition going on.
Close competition was indeed the order of the day as CPL 4 and the under 18 girls got underway. The Heat, the Raptors, the Royals, the Raiders, the All-Stars and the Rebels locked horns, looking for a chance to earn themselves a title and a place at the top of the podium. The Heat made early moves, with that lady, Jenna Blau, being a star for her team.
Jenna, you guys are leading 2-0 so far, everything going according to plan. You got some assists to your name. What's your view on the game so far?
I think it's good. We definitely are putting the heat on, but we need to work on our counter defense. We're getting a bit caught there, and the game is not over until the final whistle's blown, so anything can happen. So we don't want to run away goal as well. So we need to keep on working if we want to keep this 2-0 gap.
The team would continue to work and would keep the 2-0 gap before adding to it. A resounding victory and a wonderful start to the tournament for the ladies in red, as the Heat emerged as the title favourites through the early exchanges. Of course, they would be challenged on their journey by the Royals, clad in blue, and the Rebels, clad in green. Would either side be able to stop the Heat from breaking? Well, if it was going to be the Rebels, there would be nobody else other than Mbali Anthony, who had led from the front, could take them all the way to the title.
The girls and I have been pushing and pushing, and the results have been in our favour. It's been really good. We've played 2 games and won both of them, so it's been good.
After 2 days of action, the Logs are exciting their tight. In the women's tournament, it really does look like it is going to be a battle between the Rebels and the Heat, and they take each other on first up on day 3. The winner of that game is likely to have the front row, the forward step to getting on top of that podium. And who will it be? We're not sure, as the 2 teams will line up.
The 2 teams lined up in a bruising encounter, a scintillating encounter at Western Province Cricket Club. It was the Rebels who would strike first. A penalty corner giving them a glorious lead early on, encouraged by their influential and inspiration, their coach Denzel Dolly. The team was spurred on, and in the second half they were able to come out and not just see off the victory, but add to it in a march to the title for the Rebels.
Feels absolutely amazing. My final year of playing CPL, and it was an absolute privilege to captain this side throughout the tournament. I'm extremely proud of my teammates, extremely proud of the progress that we made. Everyone thought we were the underdogs coming in, and we showed them what we were worth, and we just played amazing and played our hearts out every single game.
With the girls' tournament done and dusted, attention turned to the boys, who would get supremacy in CPL 4.0 as the 6 franchises once again battled for the top step of the podium. The Heat, the Raptors, the Royals, the Raiders, the All-Stars and the Rebels, all looking to make a statement as champions of CPL 4.0. It was the Heat who were asking the earliest question, led by the influential Slater.
It's a relief, honestly. After last night's loss, I think we should have won the game as well. Come out here in the morning and pull off a victory. I think it's a good result in the seat as well. I think we had more clear-cut chances, and I think the boys just got the links together, got the chemistry going, and put the goals away today.
With the Heat and the Raiders laying down the early marker, the opportunity was present for the Royals to get a victory and put themselves at the top of the table. With a hand on the trophy, they met an unstoppable force in the Raptors, led by South African under-18 superstar James Flint. The men in orange and white took an early lead, and ultimately, despite a penalty stroke against, were able to get the victory over the line. The jubilation for the men in orange and white was matched by those in the crowd as a last gasp goal sealed the victory, and ultimately second place in the tournament for the Raptors.
Yeah, I think we dug deep and stuck it in to the last second. We thought when they scored that goal, 2-0 trap's going to come, but we worked hard and brilliant goal at the end. Celebration might be better.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Western Province Cricket Club. This is the final game of CPL 4.0, and what a brilliant conclusion this will be. After 3 days of action, after 30 games of hockey, it's come down to this. The Raiders, playing in all black from left to right, need to win this game in order to be champions. While for the Heat, a draw will secure them the title. After that, 6 teams. It's now down to 2, and at the end of this, 1 will be left standing and will be the champion of CPL 4.
As Taryn said earlier, Ruben Senzo one to look at the Castle 1, boy from Polgris, and the 16A Bulan RPT, and Castle 2 we have Dale Gertson of Weinberg Boys. Who's going to take the flick? It goes to Castle 1. It is Ruben Senzo, not a great trap, some fun skills, and it's 1-0 to the Raiders.
And as it stands, the Raiders would be the CPL 4.0 champions of the under-18 boys. What a turnaround. They started the day needing to beat the top two teams, starting the day in 4th place. Can they go from 4th to 1st on a dramatic day of hockey here in Western Province Cricket Club? The question had been laid for the Heat, and they looked to respond as they surged forward with attack after attack. They were unable to find a goal, finding incredible form in goals to deny them. That man, Sean Slater, wanted to have a say in this game. Would it be Ruben Senzo, who had the last laugh in CPL 4.0? The Raiders continued to create, they continued to threaten, knowing a second goal would take them all the way to the title, while they defended gainfully on the line to deny the Heat time after time. It was all set up for a moment of magic, a moment of glory, a moment for destiny to be defined.
First or second game, it's the last game. The Raiders need the win, and being in the lead here, I think, as we see Sean Slater turn the ball over, it's a great skill. Can he make the finish? And he has done it! Sean Slater! What a hit, man! He turned it over. It was the Raiders overplaying it. He picked it up, and this time he said, "Man, I won't go left, I won't go right. I'll do it myself." And he has the Heat level, and with that they go back to the top. CPL 4.0 going the way of the Heat. Sean Slater, the man of the moment, the man and ultimately the man who has lifted the trophy for his team. CPL 4.0, the birthplace of giants.
It feels too good to be true. It's honestly the best feeling ever. I mean, to come back and end up drawing is just, especially in the last minutes, dying moments of the game, it's just too good to be true. It's such a dream.
It actually all happened so fast. Yeah, I just carried the ball into space and then just one came. I didn't actually look up, it just happened, and then just saw the keeper coming out. So yeah, just really happy to score for the team.
Oh no, the whole idea of this team was to play exciting hockey and move the ball around and just be lively instead of being boring, and they've done just that. And so I hope they've learned something from that experience. I've just been happy playing the game flat out. Hope the crowd enjoyed watching it. Sounded like they did, so all the good.
CPL 4.0, I can't believe it's come and gone already. It feels like a blur. Incredible final between two top teams, entertained the crowd. Super happy. Despite load shedding, CPL 4 was a major success. There's almost too many people to thank, right from the coaches to the parents. The parents got stuck in, to the event staff, the umpires, obviously my team as head office, and then all our venues, from Province Cricket Club to Conberg to Pinelands to Wynberg stepping in at the last minute. It's really a team effort, and then even the media team, everyone comes together to make this what it is, and I think it's really a special event.